This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline. And
What?
who are you?
Am I Lauren?
Are you?
Or
I don't know
Lala?
who you
don't
are at
know.
this
And
point. I
it's
think
the
you're
alter
currently
ego.
Lauren and
Yes.
then Lala.
We'll meet Lala in a little bit.
In a little bit is
Yeah,
her alter
yeah.
ego.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is our Menendez brothers groupie right here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
Obsessed.
This is our threesome.
Yeah, she is actually more obsessed with the shower scene part of the Menendez brothers
I mean,
than
yes. As long as my husband's not listening, she is spot on. Take it away, April.
Just joking. How do y'all know each other?
Through a mutual friend
Yes. Ron.
from like who
Botox Rhonda.
Botox Rhonda, who
Absolutely.
is at Waco Laser, and you all go see her because she's the best.
She does all the things.
She does all the things. That's why I'm so beautiful. I mean, you too.
Shout out to
Botox Rhonda.
Botox Rhonda.
And I used to go with her and her husband and some friends to the lake, and then I met this one there.
Yeah,
and
so when Lala was out, Lala and Caroline vibe. I was like, my new best friend. She's going to be my new
yes.
best friend. I love her. And then I sober up and I'm like,
I can't handle Caroline.
Yeah, I'm super introverted. Like, I'll catch you next weekend, like when I'm drunk again. Like, I can't do this all day. She's like this all the time.
All the time. She doesn't need alcohol.
Yeah.
Speaking of, your drink of choice today is what?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Botox
Wait, so
Rhonda
but it's a new.
started
It's a
this.
new one.
Yes, it's Fireball and water and
Okay.
ice.
And
yeah, so it's like
ice.
cinnamon water. Yeah. So
Oh, I hate
she just had a gag
You
reflex.
hate cinnamon?
I hate cinnamon.
Oh my
She
God,
didn't
I
say
love it.
anything
It's
about cats,
like-
and you just almost threw up.
It's like Christmas in your mouth.
I do love Christmas in my mouth. I've never had it in my mouth, but I would enjoy it, I think.
Would you like a slurp?
I would
Oh,
love
can
it.
you please slurp when you take a drink?
Don't backwash. I'll
She
throw it
can't
out.
even slurp. That's why this bitch is single. Okay.
April and I are drinking tequila, but Lauren over here had a little too much tequila recently, so she and typically tequila, because I was like, I know that she's going to bring a tequila.
The
Yeah.
whole
We're gonna
bottle.
have
We
tequila
would have
shots.
finished the whole bottle.
But your
And you know
husband
what?
said no more tequila.
Well, I don't know if
Because
he's
tell us
not
how-
listening.
how-
So if
how-
y'all vibe me, we can finish the bottle. I mean, I am a professional.
I mean, how many shots do you take
What-
typically when you?
Yeah, what brought on this change of drink?
So Lala's a lot of fun, but like Lala takes a couple days to recover because Lala's not a spring chicken anymore. And my husband doesn't like the, hey, we can't do anything for the next 2 days because you drank 18 shots of tequila. And so he's like, you need to get this under control. And I'm like, well, I don't know how. And
Let's try Fireball.
Right. So I tried, and then that didn't work. And so my classy friend, Botox Rhonda, was like, you got to do this cinnamon water. It's like a whole vibe. And so
She does know
here we
all the
are.
things.
Here we are. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like Botox Rhonda.
Well,
Although previous
let's
to-
text on this little group chat Sunday and see how she feels.
Yeah, and then previous to
Okay.
this, she already did spill her drink on her pants.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I just had to say it.
Listen, at like literally the classiest restaurant in Waco. I don't know how much we're saying there, but yes.
So
Embarrassing.
last week I asked Caroline because I'd bought a bottle of tequila like on Monday, and I was just sipping on it, but it was so good every day throughout the week, and I was like, this is going to be gone. Is it bad if I drink a whole bottle of tequila like in 5 days? And Caroline's, no, not at all. My friend Lauren drinks it all the time. She
I
was
can drink a whole-
validating my issues by what, I guess, by your lifestyle.
By my issues.
And then we called another friend, and she was like, no big deal. 2 days, it's usually gone. So then I'm on TikTok the next day, and all my little stories or whatever they're called that are coming up are sobriety ones.
Oh, hey, I got you.
Addiction and sobriety. So now they're really going to
tell you.
I don't
Okay,
know.
but what tequila was that? I gotta know.
So this was arete. It is a very
sounds
it's very
sexy.
good. It is 100% the blue agave. So what I found when I took my tequila class is when it says 100% agave, it's going to be, even though it's like Patron or 1800, it's still like a mix of the agave cactus.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So it's not as clean. Whereas if it's the blue agave, that is like the good shit where you won't feel like shit for 2 days.
Thank you. Maybe that's my
That's
problem.
the issue.
So
We
people
solved it.
people get like the
And blue
1800 or whatever, thinking it's going to be the best kind, and if you drink 18 of them, obviously you're going to have a hangover. So
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe you need.
saved
You know
me.
what? We need a sponsor. We need that three proof. What is it called?
We need 100.
100 proof.
No, it's like a tablet that you take and it prevents the hangover.
Oh. Well, I drank a ton Saturday because my son was playing in a championship game, and I was like, I'm so nervous. Drank it. We won. I didn't even remember that we won.
Okay, April's funny
Look.
friend. Sorry, you're out, Caroline.
Like I was like, how did we, on the way home, I was like, what happened? How did we win? What was the winning play and all this stuff? Next morning, got up, went to church, did everything. No hangover.
You go, girl.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
I
Went
need-
to a
I needed
benefit.
blue.
Went
I
to a
needed blue.
dinner.
You just solved
learned-
all of my problems.
You basically
April.
saved your life.
Literally.
Blue agave
There we go.
and lime.
I'm hitting that firewater.
What the
tomorrow.
hell
And
is
Propel.
this? Is this blue agave?
No, you got green.
Oh, it's
Hornitos.
100% pro day
She,
agave.
she thought it was. She thought what she bought you was
Pro-
called horny toad.
Same thing.
It is. It's called Horny Toes.
Hornitos.
See?
Pretty sure you said horny toad. But we're
Well,
good.
I feel
We're
like
good.
tomato
We're good.
tomato.
Sure.
Touche.
Sure.
April,
Do you have
what
questions for?
Yeah, what do we do whenever we have a guest on? Because we haven't had a guest on in quite a while. But
Yeah.
typically when we do put a little Q&A session that we do.
Put them through a panel.
Put them through a panel.
Oh,
and we're the
God.
panel.
Yay, we chose violence today. This is
We're the
great.
panel.
This is great.
Yeah.
Let's
You started off. I'll
Okay.
just go.
does size really matter? The size of your purse, the size of your cup, the size of anything.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Oh. She says yes.
matters.
100%.
It does matter.
It matters. It matters in all things.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Okay.
Size matters. What else?
I would like to know if you had to choose if you're going to get killed or die, would you rather drown or would you rather be burned?
Oh wow. I feel like I've thought about this a lot and don't judge. Like it's just one of those things
Yeah.
that like an ADD mind does. But I'm gonna go with drown. Burning is
It's
excruciating.
excruciating.
And I mean, at least drowning, I have a little bit of control. Like, hey, I know there's no way out. I'm just going to go ahead and breathe out all my air and get it over with. Like, meet my maker.
Yes,
I'm
just go
done.
underwater and not come back up.
Burning is just like, I mean, that's
And then you have a chance of living, then you're just going to be living in pain and all
pain
burned
and
up.
just, yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I would rather. What would you rather do?
I think I would rather drown, but I'm so scared of it.
I
but
feel
I
like
would
it would
rather
happen
drown.
faster.
So
Yeah.
you would lose oxygen faster and it'd
Yeah.
be done. Like, you're
Like thinking
you're
about
done.
the submersible gave me the worst. Like I couldn't
I'm feeling
breathe.
like I can't breathe now.
Yeah, but I would not want to burn up. Got it. Caroline, what you got?
Ooh, how many of these do I get to do?
I don't know. What's another one?
What was your first tattoo?
It was a heart on my stomach, and I didn't take in consideration when I was 15.
first tattoo.
That was mine because
That was everybody's first tattoo in your little, where you used to put the little tan
okay,
thing.
but yes.
Yes. Why did they do that to us? It was the whole Ed Hardy phase.
No, I did
Right?
it because my birthday is Valentine's Day area-ish. It's the day before, but that's why I always had hearts.
My heart things are a whole different vibe. I find hearts everywhere. Anybody who knows me, like, I can send you a picture tomorrow of, I will randomly walk past a leaf that will be a heart. It's little God loves to me, so I'm always taking pictures
Also,
of it.
by the way, what is your favorite fairy tale princess? Because who are you?
Cinderella?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I just like rolled with it. I could have gone Moana.
No, you know,
gone...
because you say you're Cinderella because all the animals come to you.
Yes,
Yes.
they do. I love animals.
Oh, even cats.
I love cats. Well, you don't. I'm so sorry, but I love cats. I can't wait to get to heaven one day so I can like roll around with all the ones that would maul me in real life.
You might want to
I
read the
can actually
Bible
play
because
with
it's
them.
questionable if animals are actually
I
going to
know.
be in the Bible,
Right,
or
I
in
know.
heaven.
But I'm going with
I was
that
waiting
they
for
are.
Caroline's response.
I'm going with that they are.
Okay, but like we were in Mexico and this iguana was coming to her, I think, or something. Maybe I'm making it up. But every time, it's basically like
I love
the birds
I love
just
animals
fly
more
to
than
her.
people.
The
It's
ladybug
so
landed
weird.
on her specifically because she's Cinderella. Okay.
I love all the things.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Animal people have a special
also,
heart.
one last thing. What do you do? Do you want to tell the people what you do, or
Shout out your expertise.
shout out your?
Oh, okay. So I do hair. I've done hair for 20 years around town.
Damn.
Yes. I love it. I love the people. I love my clients. I always go home and I'm telling my husband or, oh, my friend today said this. He's like, do you mean your client? I'm like, yeah, same thing. Like
They
get to
become your
basically
friends.
Vibe with these people all day long and they share all their experience. Listen, I've got all the gossip. I keep it all locked in real tight.
all the hair people
hairdressers have
always.
all the tea.
I got all.
Do you do
the
lashes
tea.
too?
I do lashes, and I actually do. I am starting up in January. I'm doing paramedical tattooing, which is going to be your stretch marks, your surgery scars, your whatever. It's just like a good body camouflage of. There's people who have the heart, like the burn scars. We're talking about burn victims. Just trying to camouflage all that, just to get a really good.
To get it to match your normal skin color?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I'm super excited about that. That's not until about January, but yes. But I've done hair for 20 years. I love it. I'll still continue to do it.
What's your place called?
Urbane Salon.
Urban?
It's Urbane.
Urbane Salon.
Yeah, we had to put some twang
Is it
in
downtown?
Texas.
Is it? You used to be downtown.
Yeah, so University Parks Drive and Loop 340. It's like right in there.
Got it. Y'all go see her. Here's always my favorite question. If you were to get killed, what fake detective, TV personality, or
like
movie
Dateline,
detective,
like
no.
Okay.
Detective, do you want investigating your murder? Who do you want to solve your murder?
Are you talking about like
Investigator, like the detective, like who do you want to
from the
solve
shows or something?
from any like TV, like somebody that you've seen on TV, your favorite detective.
You thinking like the CSI guy with the orange hair?
Yeah,
No,
or
no,
like
no, no,
your
It's gotta be
Law and
somebody hot.
Order.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
about
yeah.
Tracker? Have y'all kept up with Tracker? Have y'all watched
haven't.
Tracker on
Is that a
Hulu?
show?
Oh, I would say that I watch it for the acting, but
So what's his name on Tracker? The main guy off Tracker?
you know what? Y'all are calling my bluff right now. I don't even remember, but he's real ugly, right? Really ugly, but he solves every single one.
Okay, so you know your murder would get solved.
Yes,
And then
absolutely.
then Caroline's part is the who do you want telling
if you were like in a document, like you went missing or you were murdered or whatever, and your story was on like Dateline or 48 Hours or 2020, who would you want to be the one telling your story? Like Keith Morrison? Would you want to go back to Diane Sawyer? Would you want
Stop
who?
it, you guys! It's y'all.
Oh my God!
100%. I have listened to this podcast and I have been like, oh my God, they're so cute. They're so funny. Like, how fun. Yes, him. He's hideous, right?
Justin Hartley.
Oh, I think I know who
Girl.
it is.
But what I was
Tell us
saying
more
is,
about ourselves.
is yes, see, See, I've got you. They put so much work into this. Just like, okay, April's like, hey, I'm on vacation, and I went to see the John Benet Ramsey house. Like, if I'm going on vacation, I'm going to sip a margarita by the beach. Like, y'all investigate, and y'all are constantly on your computers, constantly. Like, I'll be like, Caroline, hey, let's go for a drink. She's like, well, I'm doing research right now. Like, I don't think she doesn't meet up later. She does. She does.
Gotta finish, though.
The way y'all prioritize this and the energy that beside the normal daily jobs that y'all put in, the effort, the whatever, like it's a lot more than just like me tuning in, listening to a podcast. I literally am just like, oh my God, their personalities, they're so funny. Like,
Oh,
it's scripted.
thank you.
It's y'all put a lot of effort into it.
All the reasons why I want to quit. Thanks for highlighting all the reasons why I want to quit.
Never, because you have an abundance of knowledge about serial
Y'all
killers,
are
according to your
great.
sweatshirt.
I am so excited to be here.
And I think we should talk about the Menendez brothers.
Let's
because
do
they
it.
may be out soon, and maybe y'all can.
Okay, did you hear
Catch
the
'em.
latest though? Like they got
No, tell us at the end.
Okay.
Or are you gonna remember?
Well,
it? Tell
no,
us
it's
now.
just about the DA.
Do it. Say
Like
it.
he didn't get the re-election.
Yeah, we said that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
At the quickie last time, but he's supposed to do what we need him to do before the new.
I know, but I don't know if he can.
Is DA have like an inauguration period? Can he still do his
I don't know if you
thing?
can
Like, does he
push
have
it
till
through. I don't
January?
know how that works.
I thought there's already a date set, but it's supposed to be in November, but it's almost over.
I know November's gone flying by.
I don't know what happened. Okay, let's go to California, and I'm going to title this episode Killers or Victims, and I'm going to let you guys decide because the whole world has been trying to figure it out. Are these
Absolutely.
people killers or victims? So we are talking about the Menendez brothers, and we are Sunday, August 20th, 1989. Were you alive? Were you alive?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
I
I was
mean,
about
no.
8 years old.
I was way younger than y'all, but I was alive.
You're a year. Back
No, I was 85.
You're 85? That's lovely.
I was 81, so I was 8 years old at the time.
84.
But my mom watched the whole trial, so I like had it in my eyes. I was watching it. Okay, so it's 11:47 p.m. Beverly Hills police receive a 911 call. The bodies of Jose Menendez and his wife Kitty Menendez were found dead. Jose's head had been shot, and brain matter was actually fallen out of his head as the police were walking into the room.
Love that.
There was blood and brain matter on the walls and the ceiling of this room. Mom, Kitty, was face down, face first, in her own blood, and her face had been blown off.
Blown off.
The 911 call comes from oldest son, Lyle Menendez. He said that he had just gotten home from the movies and that they discovered their parents' bodies. This phone call is hysterical.
Beverly Hills emergency.
Yes, police.
What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem?
Someone killed my parents.
Pardon me?
Someone killed my parents.
What? Who? Are they still there?
Yes.
The people. What?
No.
Were they shot?
Hey, man,
Were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
102 response. 722 North Elmore.
What happened?
I have a hysterical person on. We're trying to get screened further. Other units responding. Is the person still there?
What happened? We have units around. What happened? Who shot who?
I don't hear anything.
You came home and found who shot?
Mom and Dad. You know if they're still in the house, the people that did the shooting.
Get away from him! Okay, hey, let me talk to Eric. Who is the person that was shot?
My mom and
Your mom and dad? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, we're on our way over there with the ambulance. Okay, I gotta go.
Okay.
So is it a good faker or bad?
Oh, no, I don't. I mean,
Well, they obviously
We'll
did
find
it.
out.
So like, "Ah, you just did it, bitch.
right, but I mean, that was, I feel like Eric in the background, right, was way more emotional
Yeah.
than Lyle.
I mean, I guess you do have the emotions when you're like, you just did that, so you're like adrenaline's rushing.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you're like,
Yeah.
but then you did it, so don't be surprised.
So they were hysterical even when police got there. So let's start at the beginning, find out who the Menendez family are. So Jose is the dad. Jose Enriquez Hernandez was born in Havana, oh la la, Cuba in 1944. His father was a former soccer star and his mother was a champion swimmer. So a family of athletes. And so Jose, of course, was an athlete too, competitive swimmer. But at this time is when Fidel Castro, have y'all heard that name?
Never.
Was on some whole dictator bullshit and was just like, I want your land, I'm taking your house, y'all are going to be homeless, doing whatever. And family was like, his parents were like, we're going to stay here and try to keep whatever we can of our stuff. You go live with the aunt and uncle in wherever, in the United States. I don't remember where. He was 15 years old at this time. So he's in high school, has a normal high school life. And then he gets a scholarship for swimming to Southern Illinois University. And he's a great swimmer. This is where he meets Kitty. Mary Louise Anderson.
Oh,
Her name is Kitty.
how
And
do you feel about that? What's her Catherine or something?
listen, Trent has a friend
Her son.
that has a cat.
Oh God.
Wait, do you really hate cats? It's so
No,
hard.
like she
Oh,
will kill a cat.
like my
There-
brother, Trent
The-
ran
the
over a
one-
cat on accident. And he was like, he texted me and he was like, Mom, I just hit a cat. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh my.
No, how about
And I was like, you
how
made
about
me
the
so
one
proud.
cat? How about the cats that were in the? They had their heads stuck in the Doritos bags or something.
Oh, and
get the
on
belt.
the page.
I'm
On the
can't
Lacey
do
Lake
it.
View page.
I'm a big animal person. I don't want to hear they died. Did the cats
I know,
die in
but
the
Yeah,
Doritos?
somebody in the neighborhood when I was growing up actually had these bow and arrows, and they were going around shooting the neighborhood cats. And
you
you
were
would
like,
see
"Yeah,
them
get
on the
this one."
news, and they had like arrows going through like their torso like this.
Oh my god! I would have.
I'm not the only one that thought it was funny. Anyways,
As she
I
hosts the
died.
serial killer show.
See where Kitty takes us. So Kitty was actually a beautiful former beauty queen, and she was older. She was a senior. He was a freshman. They fell madly in love, and Kitty came from a dysfunctional family, is what they would call back then, because she came from a family of divorce, and divorce was a big deal. So, but
Unacceptable.
it was totally unacceptable. But not only that, her dad left her and her mom and her family for another woman and made a whole new family and never looked back.
Oh, wow.
So it was not just divorce. It was like divorce. I'm done with y'all. Close that chapter in my life. So that was like a big, obviously traumatic issue in Kitty's life. And people say that's probably why she put up so much from Jose, because it gave her depression, it gave her a little social anxiety,
Fear of
and it made her feel horrible. A fear of abandonment, and then she wasn't good enough. So she graduated college in 1963, and so Jose just kind of quits because they were going to get married. So they get married, they move to New York, but the family is pissed that they got married.
Her family.
Both.
Oh, okay.
But for totally different reasons. His family's pissed because she comes from divorce.
Because her name Kitty.
her name.
Her name is Kitty. She comes from divorce, and they're Catholic. Catholic
Yeah.
folks shouldn't
Oh,
believe
yeah.
in divorce.
Yeah.
And then her family, obviously, because he's Cuban. So lose all the way. She gets a job there, and Jose gets another scholarship, is back in school, and he's a dishwasher part-time. So he is humbling himself so that he can finish school and make the good money, right? Washing dishes. She gets pregnant 1986, and that is where Joseph Lyle Menendez is born. And so Kitty, this is old school, and I'm sure like his culture came into play. She's quitting her job immediately to be a full-time mom, and they're moving to New Jersey.
Lucky her.
Lucky her. 2 years later is when Eric was born. So now we got both kids. Jose gets a new job, and it's in the music industry. Have you ever heard of RCA Records?
Oh, yeah.
RCA Records.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so that is who he's working with. He's making great money, and people are Go ahead.
Part of the pedo ring. He's part of the P. Diddy.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, he works with these boy bands, and these boy bands come out later on.
All the things.
So these boys, people start noticing that they have a special bond, and not like just brother bonds.
Brotherly love.
Not like it was like almost like twins have like this special bond, but then like on steroids. And people just kind of just thought that was weird, that Eric almost worshipped Kyle.
Lyle?
Lyle. I will say Kyle the whole episode.
That's fine.
I
We
mean
know who you're talking
Lyle.
about.
I'm
Like
gonna
when I
call
call you Rachel and you call me Erica. It's fine.
I'm gonna call Jose Joseph. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't get it right.
Kyle is Lyle. Well, it's fine. I'm just making sure I didn't
At least I noticed it at the beginning
I was
and
just
not at the
making
end
sure
of the
there wasn't
episode.
a third brother that I was missing because I didn't.
I was
finish
just
watching.
going with it because I'm invited. So
No,
I was
you
like,
gotta-
I'm
you-
not
yeah, you got-
calling
yeah.
that one out.
One episode, I said the victim's name wrong the whole episode. It was like Cassie, and I was saying Casey the whole time.
Those are really
Listen,
Kyle.
I felt
Lyle.
We've already
It's
told
the
y'all.
same. It's the
We've already
same
told y'all
thing.
what this podcast is. If you're new here, we say names wrong. We talk about porn.
Our facts are usually about
we
right.
talk about
Drinking.
murder. We're drinking.
Give us a
It's
break.
happy hour.
And sometimes we make up our own facts, and it's fine.
But it's happy hour, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
Now, the boys are getting older, and people also notice that they do inappropriate stuff. Like, they're almost teens, like they're preteens, and they're still playing with stuffed animals. They're still wetting the
odd?
bed often.
Do you do that?
Yeah, like I don't
I mean,
know
I
that I
swept
want
the
my
bed.
12-year-old or 13-year-old kid still playing with stuffed animals.
I don't even know
don't
how to play with a stuffed animal.
I mean, how are they playing with the stuffed animals?
Exactly.
Are
Are there holes in it? And they're
Yeah, it
Are
could
they
be.
like
Could be a
Animal
little.
Planet?
Could be a little bit of a situation there.
also, when cousins came over, they might have got molested a time or two.
Who doesn't get molested a time or two?
One cousin actually said that she was visiting her cousins, Lyle and Eric, and they tied her up to a bed,
As one would.
took off her clothes, and
Okay.
started touching her parts.
Well, they were
And they
exploring.
Wouldn't stop until she screamed bloody murder. But they didn't know why she was so mad, because they do this all the time.
Right, because
To their dolls or who?
They're,
They do this all the time.
It's
to
normal.
their dad.
Who knows?
There are dolls that you can do these things to, but I mean, I guess if
Oh,
you choose,
is there?
I allegedly,
You shouldn't be doing it. To
I don't
dogs.
have any. I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you bringing that
Don't
up?
let Caroline babysit your kids.
Listen, Casey, listen to the podcast. Casey, I'll be watching your kids. Don't worry, everything okay.
Where's that doll in the bathroom when she's watching your kids?
Well, that doll in the bathroom is just a porcelain doll. That's a creepy doll.
Okay. Haley, in 1986, he decides to leave the music industry and goes to California to join the movie industry because he conquered music. Let me go to music and movie industry, and he's working for live entertainment. And he gets a big ass raise, like $500,000 a year, $86 million in
Yeah,
bonus.
and this is
Right.
86.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
It's
millions
huge. Yeah.
now.
Plus all the $86 million of bonuses that he like makes throughout this time. They even took out a big life insurance policy on him. So on all their CEOs. They took out a $5 million life insurance policy for them because if you die, we lose a lot of money. And then they took out one to give to his family if he dies. So that's kind of important information. But they were living like the California life.
Their best life.
And it seemed picture perfect. But with more money comes what? More problems. More money, more problems.
More problems and devil. And a devil.
Jose
Sometimes, maybe not.
is an asshole. And he was hated at work. And he has tons and tons of affairs on Kitty. Now, when you watch the Monsters episode, they show him having affairs with a bunch of male prostitutes. You see that?
Right.
But
yes.
I don't-
But I didn't see the women
Anywhere
ones.
else.
Uh-uh.
Huh?
Yeah.
You didn't see the women ones?
I didn't. That wasn't on the documentary or the Netflix series.
So I don't... What did you see on the documentaries?
Documentary
Just said
and
affairs?
Netflix series, I feel that it showed one male that he kind of got aggressive with, that he paid for, but never was there like woman, like as if he was a womanizer or anything like that. It was very directed to, he had a very just almost satanic like demeanor of sexuality toward men.
Men.
Yes.
That he does.
Explains a lot.
So he was not a great husband. People that worked with him did not like him. And his kids had to excel at everything. Like they demanded them to be the best of the best. They had to be the smartest in the classroom, and they weren't very smart. They would spend tons of money on coaches, on like trainers. They both agreed that sports wasn't just like an activity, like you had to be the best because you needed to get a scholarship and everything had to be perfection. He was worse than Joe Jackson, actually, and he controlled
Is that Michael's dad?
every aspect of their life and was never satisfied when they did well. So, for example, tennis match. If Eric or Lyle had a tennis match and he was doing horribly, you heard him in the stands, ridiculing them. He would go down onto the court. He would embarrass them in front of everybody. Cuss the coaches out like he was horrible. But if they had a good game, he wouldn't say a word. No good job, no high five, no let me give you $5 for every touchdown you make. Like, so they knew early on they were never going to satisfy him. So now they're living in Calabasas. Who else lived in Calabasas?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
The Kardashians.
Oh, gosh.
And
with OJ?
Yeah. And because they had so much pressure, like they had to go to Princeton, they had to be the best athlete, they started to rebel a little
They
bit.
weren't smart. They went to Princeton?
Well, one of them will go to Princeton.
Caroline.
Money does. I do know the
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
The
And I feel like
college
he
scandal.
came from one of the first generations that it was kind of like, you get what you pay for. So if I buy the best tennis coach, my kids should be the best tennis players.
Yeah.
If I buy
Nope.
the best
That's not
tutors,
how
my
that
kids should be
working.
the smartest. And really, I mean, we know now that that's not how it works. Like everybody's individually
No, if you can-
has their own characteristics.
Well, and he had to wash dishes to get what he had, and work
Right.
his way
He-
up.
he
They
worked
never had
hard.
to.
Right.
Exactly. They're not going to have that work ethic because everything's kind of been handed to them thus far. So the boys start to rebel a bit, people say, or they're trying to control something in their life because dad has controlled everything.
Or they're just being teenagers.
Or they're just being bored teenagers, bored rich kids, because they get with another friend and they decide they're going to start breaking into people's houses. And they broke into other rich friends' houses, into their safe.
Okay, well, they
They
had too
stole
much money.
jewelry, they stole money, they stole watches, they stole everything, and they got such a rush. Like, it was a blast.
They just needed to feel a little bit of
Rush.
adrenaline
They didn't
stuff.
need any
Yeah.
of the things.
Yeah,
They had it all.
They had it all. So
And so they did it a couple times, and then Eric and Lyle decided to leave friend out and do it on their own. So they started kind of like robbing people even more. until Eric gets pulled over. They actually stole over $100,000 worth of money, plus jewelry,
Which
plus
again,
stuff.
in this day and age,
How-
is like million.
Yes.
I did not know they just were like going and stealing out of people's
All
houses.
their friends were rich, so you just aren't going to think that your other very rich friend is going to come over and steal from you.
I know. I mean, what I was doing, I was like toilet papering houses. Like I wasn't stealing.
But
stuff.
right, they're seeking a rush. Like when you
Or maybe they
want
need
for
attention
nothing,
because they're not getting attention.
I don't think they wanted that kind of attention because they knew what they were going to get.
Yeah.
So Eric
the booty
actually
hole.
gets pulled over by the police, and he has all the stolen stuff like in his car. I heard another podcast that said that the friend that they ended up leaving out called the police on them. They were like,
Way.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
hell.
Snitcher
Snitches.
Snitches.
Stitches and wind up in ditches.
and called the police and said, if you pull over Eric, he's the one that's been doing all these robberies. But here's what's crazy: these rich people really didn't even know anything was stolen from them.
Of course. Because
So-
they have all the things.
Yeah.
They didn't even notice.
Oh, I haven't opened my safe in 6 months.
My safe is so small.
You have a safe? I don't even have a safe.
Well, I had to have one because my ex-husband was trying to steal all my shit, so I got a safe. And it's like this big.
I see you forgetting the code to your safe.
Well, true. And I think I hid there was a key to it as well. I'm sure it wasn't
Hid it
hidden.
from yourself.
Yeah, I hid it from
I can
myself,
see
so
that.
I've locked out the safe right now. I don't know. There could be
It's okay.
millions in there by now.
When Jose found out, of course he was pissed. But why was he really pissed? Do you remember, Lauren? Why was Jose pissed when he found out his kids were stealing?
It was more, I think, from what I viewed, and I'm like, where y'all research all the details, I'm like Netflix documentaries, right?
Yeah.
It was more of the shame that it brought to his family,
That,
right? Like
yeah.
his what he stood for, what his family was supposed to be like, and his kids were never supposed to act out of obedience.
And if you did, you better not get caught.
Right.
And that was his whole lecture to them is you lie, you cheat, you steal, you better be smart enough to not get caught. And they got caught, and he was ashamed that he got caught and that they're ruining, like you said, the Menendez name.
Right, and I think it portrays that. It's not the fact that they did it.
No.
It's the fact that they got caught.
I mean, being a thief is like almost like being it's the low of the
thieves
low.
are the worst.
Being a thief is the low of the low.
Especially if you're married to one.
Are we
Thieves.
reminiscing? Do we get to take our
So,
shoes off? This is lovely.
You
I'm
should
enjoying
be
it.
disgusted if you find out that your sons who need nothing are just stealing from people. He was not disgusted at that. He was disgusted because they got caught. But he hires a big ass lawyer to get them off, and that he basically does because they come up first. He goes to each house and he writes them a personal check, gives them their stuff back, writes them a check, and makes them apologize. And then
They really learned the lesson.
yeah.
Did it ever say how much money that actually was? Because like in the show, it's like $100,000.
Yeah.
Like it didn't actually say how much.
I know he was like it was like $11,000 here, $20,000 here, and it totaled up to like $100,000 is what
wow.
I saw. But it was nothing compared to like what they had back then. Police were still pissed and they wanted to press charges, but the lawyers and Jose got smart because Eric is a youth. He's under 18. So the plan was get Eric to confess to doing the murders by himself. Lyle was not involved at all because Lyle is an adult. This would go on his record. He don't need anything on his record because he's going to go to Princeton. He's going to be a lawyer and he's going to be a politician later on. That's his goal in life.
Yeah.
Eric was like 17 or 16. Once you commit a crime as a youngster, it falls off your record when you turn when you become an adult. So
Okay.
it's
So that's a
expunged.
strategy.
So they were like, Eric, you take the fall. Lyle, you're good. Eric, all you're going to get is community service, and you got to go see a therapist.
We're talking about the
Robberies.
thefts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
you said murders a second ago. Not
Oh, probably. Sorry.
It's
I was
okay.
like, wait, I missed
Sometimes,
something.
yeah,
No.
you got.
I missed
Sometimes
it.
You gotta take me back.
You gotta.
No, y'all
call
are the
her out on it.
experts, and so
no, but
no.
sometimes we do that. That's how we
No.
do it.
I'm thinking on page 10, and I'm still on page like 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thefts. So now he has to go see therapy, and this is where Dr. Jerome Ozell comes in, and he's going to be the famous therapist that is in the trials and kind of brings the case together later on. So Eric has community service, and he now has a therapist. But after this, Jose is like, we're ruined in Calabasas. We're the Menendezes, and we can never
Just wait.
show our faces again. We're embarrassed, like we have to go. We're moving to Beverly Hills. Pack your shit. We're leaving immediately,
And how
basically.
is that far?
Was
from,
he like prophesying? Because it was like a closed casket, right? Like,
I don't know.
Gosh.
I'm just trying to figure out how the distance of this place is.
Oh, from Calabasas to Beverly Hills?
Yeah,
I
are
don't
they,
know, but he was basically like, have the movers move everything. I'll make sure your house is way better in Beverly Hills. I'll make it worth your while. So that's when they moved to Beverly Hills on Elm Drive in a $4 million mansion. It comes with a courtyard,
That's
a pool, a guest house, a tennis court, 6 bedrooms. Michael Jackson lived here, and so did Elton John.
Oh my god!
wait, I did not.
They
know that.
did it big. And even
Wow.
a Saudi Arabian prince. Like, it was the house.
It's an
of all
hour away.
houses.
It's an hour away.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, so all
But-
these people lived there before them.
yes.
I mean, but still, the reputations of the people who had the house before. I mean, I would totally vibe.
Oh, yeah, Elton John, Michael Jackson.
100%.
I mean, yeah. I just
You-
didn't know that
So
they had to
they're-
make this big move.
They're really living large, and Jose's dream is now finally coming true because Lyle gets accepted to Princeton finally. I think he
Oh,
writes a
well,
big
thank
check.
goodness.
He gets denied, has to go to like another junior college or something, and then gets accepted to Princeton. But Lyle is, of course, a shitty student. He gets placed on academic probation immediately. He partied hard. He barely made it to class. And then things go really downhill when he gets in trouble for plagiarism. So they get called to the dean's office.
Plagiarized lots of times.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So they call him to the dean's office, and Jose's like, I'll just write you a check. How much do you want? Don't kick him out of school. Kids do this. Not a
Yeah,
big
'cause
deal.
You got money. All you gotta do is throw it at
Yes.
them, and they're gonna just, turn it down.
No. This dean was like,
The dean was
no,
like,
sir. He broke the rules. He can come back. He's suspended for a year or 2 years. So Jose's pissed. He didn't get his way. But he's not pissed at Lyle. He kind of is. He's ashamed of Lyle. He's pissed at Princeton because he didn't get his way. So he was like, you know what, Lyle? Just come work for me at Live Entertainment. You'll work your way up. I own a business. Just come work for me.
Yeah, why not?
But nope, Lyle fails again because he was a shitty worker. Employees hated him. He didn't do anything. He left early all the time, and he was eventually fired. So now Jose is finally like, where did I go wrong?
Where did I go wrong? I mean, I have no idea.
Now you got Eric over here, and he was still in high school, but Eric is spending all his time in theater. And so Jose, being a machismo Cuban, is like, like a very manly Cuban. Eric's like, he's like, Eric is a sissy. Lyle is shitty. I failed at my sons, and I'm taking them out of my will.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yikes.
And so he's kind of threatening this, and this makes a lot of tension in the house. So Eric gets with his little friend named Craig, and they make a screenplay. Do you remember the screenplay that they make? They write a little screenplay, and it's called Friends. and not the best show on earth, friends. It is about a young man who murdered his parents to inherit their money.
Basically,
And that
everything that was going to happen.
is where we take a break because this bitch got to pee again.
Okay. Okay, so they got this screenplay, and friend Craig didn't think anything about it. They just wrote a screenplay about a kid wanting to kill their parents for money. No big deal.
That's what I do all the time.
I know, me too.
Meanwhile, Mommy Kitty is at the house, and bitch is depressed. She's drinking. She's taking pills. She keeps getting plastic surgery after plastic surgery, thinking that's going to
Living
make...
her best
I'm not
life.
jealous at all. I swear to God, I'm not jealous at all.
But she's doing it thinking it's going to make Jose want to do her and not other people, and it's not working. And meanwhile, she's just become like this belligerent drunk. She has also seen a psychiatrist, though, so that's helping.
That should help, yeah.
And her psychiatrist later said that Kitty, in a session, said that she was afraid of her kids, that she thought that they were sociopaths, that she would lock her bedroom door at night because she thought they would hurt her, and that actually she changed the key to the locks to the front door and the back door. So, and they showed this on the monsters, them trying to get in, and she locked it. So she said she wanted to make sure every time they entered the house and left the house, like she wanted it to control
Why was
that.
she so scared of them?
She thought they were
Probably
sociopaths.
because, well, maybe they told her, hey, Dad's doing me in the butt. You're, like, not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And so we're mad at you because you're not defending us. Like,
Yeah.
I would be scared of my kids, too, if I didn't defend them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So it's August 19th, so it's the day before the murders, and Jose and Kitty and the boys had a planned fishing trip. They had chartered a boat, got a boat crew, and they were going to go on a family fishing trip. Now, the fishing crew later said this is the weirdest fishing trip ever because nobody fished. The parents were in one side of the boat and the kids were on the other half of the boat. They didn't talk to each other the whole time. Like, it was so freaking weird.
Why are you not fishing on the fishing trip? I don't understand.
And then when they went home, it was like, and Jose and Kitty settled in their den. They watched TV. They ate them some ice cream. And that night is when Eric and Lyle busted through the doors with shotguns. They started shooting right away. Lyle shot his dad in the back of the head. Eric's job was to kill the mom. That was his job, but he panicked and he missed. So she
Freaking Eric.
jumped off the couch, jumped over the coffee table, almost ran out the room. So Lyle had to shoot Kitty for him. He shot her in the leg and shattered her femur, hit her femoral artery, so you know it's bleeding like horribly. She slips in her own blood, and then they're out of bullets, but she's still alive.
They did not show that in the Netflix part that I watched.
You didn't watch it as
I
they
watched
did.
that part.
They
and
did.
I thought,
No,
oh,
they
she did?
Yeah.
Because
you
I thought
didn't
she
watch
was
it.
on the couch.
She did not do her homework.
And then she ended up on the floor,
Yeah.
her trying to get away.
Yeah. But I think she, like, ran away.
So basically, Eric could have been held for attempted murder, and Lyle could have been caused for 2 murders.
Well,
First degree.
if he didn't go to the car and get bullets and come back,
Okay. There we go.
and then they shot her in the face twice to make sure she was dead.
As one should.
They shot her a total of 10 times. Leg,
Oh
chest,
my
arm.
gosh, 10?
She wouldn't die. What would you
She
I
would
guess
not
you
die.
just gotta
It's all the
keep
pills and
going.
alcohol and everything. She
So-
was just,
She was a kitty cat.
she had 9
9
lives.
9 lives.
She had 9.
She had
but
9, and the
they
10th.
messed up the
That's
first
why
one.
they did 10 shots. Because the 10th
They
one.
shot her in the leg.
They
That one
did
didn't
her.
count.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why they shot her leg off. That's rude.
Jose was only shot 6 times.
He needed to be shot 27
But I feel like
times.
he was the
worse.
Let's take him down
First.
Like,
And he was
the ultimate
first.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they aimed right for his head. They said the hole in the back of his head was the size of a fist. Like you could put your
They
hand
must have got real close with that
straight
shotgun.
through.
Could you imagine after
Seeing that?
all of those years, let's say they have been molested their whole lives, or Eric, whatever. Let's say all of this is true. The power and the control that you would have in that moment to just stop all the pain. Like, what would that murder scene look like, right? I feel like it would be as brutal as this one.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
They unloaded a total of 15 rounds.
Wow.
But they wanted to make sure it looked like a mob hit, so they had to go and kneecap them. So then that's when they had to shoot them both
In the knees?
in the knees to kneecap them, because that's what the mobs do.
Okay.
At least, I mean, if they were stupid, they at least knew that.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like they maybe did research.
they did.
He learned that at Princeton.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
So then the 911 call came in, and when police showed up, they said that these boys were hysterical. Eric collapsed in a ball on the lawn uncontrollably. Lyle tried to comfort him, but was hysterical himself. Police thought they were so genuine, and thought that they were truly scared that somebody had came in and murdered their parents.
Yeah.
That they had gave them time to like settle down before they questioned them. But you have to question them, so they take them in. When they went inside, it was a horror scene. They were unrecognizable, but it's time to question the boys, and they asked for the alibi. And the boys were not, they were just so cool, calm, and collect. They were like, we just went to the movies to see Batman. We went to the Taste of LA festival. And then we came home and we found our parents. They were so believable that police did not test for GSR, which that is routine. If somebody dies in your house, anybody that was in that house has to be tested for gunshot residue. Mm-hmm. Did not do it. One, you're not going to think these rich kids are going to kill their parents. Mm-hmm. Two, they were so believable. Until. So, but at first the police believed that it could have been a mob hit because, you know, Joseph, I've been saying Joseph, Jose wasn't likable. People.
Was he doing stuff with mob stuff? Or
No.
Like what? Like, why would they even think that?
Because of the kneecapping.
Mobby. He
was mobby.
If we're judging a book,
Money.
by its
But I guess
cover,
maybe like mob is, or it could be just like just the world that he lived in.
So they were thinking that the execution style, because he was shot in the head, and then the kneecapping, and because he is in so much money, and people said that he did business untraditionally, like conventionally, like
I've been learning big words. So
but also as they like thought about it a little bit more, the mob hits are usually pretty quick and clean, and they would have left Kitty as alive as a witness. Like, why kill Kitty? They would have killed Jose.
Yeah.
And why kill Kitty?
Okay,
and the crime scene's so messy, like the mobs wouldn't have done
Let
that.
me relate this back to Murdaugh, where Alec was convicted of murdering his son and his wife, and they were trying to say that was like a cartel hit, but then it was like, well, why did you kill the wife, or like why did you kill why did you kill your son if it was just meant for the wife? But I don't know, it was just like a
But I mean, mobs, like, what? I mean, what do you? I feel like you leave a stone unturned? Do you?
Yeah, I feel like you
leave
just,
a witness?
if you don't want to have that, you just kill who's ever there.
Yeah.
So.
But I don't think the mob is scared of like the police coming after them.
No.
Like they have way too many ties that they're going to leave a witness, and the witness is going to say it's the mob, and then what do you do?
But I feel like this is at a crucial time where you've got like your late 70s where people start figuring out like criminal profiling and how people react, how people respond. And I mean, just like Ted Bundy got away with it for so long because he was a politician or he went to college. There's no way he could like. So if these kids act sad at this time,
Yeah.
80s.
And you're not going to think this rich white kid is going
Right.
to kill their parents.
Exactly.
Or white Cuban kid. And it's in Beverly Hills and things like that never happens.
Never
Right.
happens here.
And you don't, I mean, like they were the first of the first to kill their parents. Like they were the first ones to kind of dip their toes in the water and it be so
this
big.
day and age, if you know them, you're a suspect. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Facts.
yeah. So they're interviewing ex-coworkers, employees, and people were angry and didn't like him, but nobody really hated Jose. They couldn't find a motive. And so they were like investigating and they could not find a suspect. They had no
No leads,
evidence,
nothing.
no anything.
And
Meanwhile, Eric and Lyle are playing the part. They have bodyguards that they have hired because the mob may be after them. They start to live out of these hotels. I know. They start like they are on the swivel, heads on the swivel. Somebody's after them. But they're also living really good with their parents' money.
Oh, wild and out.
Wow. What,
I saw some
wait,
of those lavish parties on Netflix. I was like,
so
am I
they
invited?
were like using the parents' money to go party and stuff?
Yes. And by like August 24th, which was the day before the funeral, 3 days after they got killed, 4 days after they got killed, Lyle had already bought 3 Rolexes.
Wow.
You bought one for each day.
That's why
of
you
mourning.
need so many damn Rolexes.
I mean,
They showed up to the funeral late, and he was speaking very casually about the U.S. Open and how he bought tickets to the U.S. Open.
I mean, as one would. He's just being like, I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to talk about golf or tennis or whichever sport that is. Is it tennis
What
or
is the
golf?
Open?
I don't know.
I think it's
no,
tennis.
I think it's tennis.
It's probably
I
tennis.
feel like it's tennis. I'm going to go with my gut.
be golf. Okay, so
It could be.
Okay.
I mean,
He also bought a restaurant for $550,000
As
called
you should.
Mr. Buffalo because his daddy told him no in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I would have done the same thing. So I'm not mad.
if my dad would have told me no, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. I'd have bought 5.
He bought a Porsche because the car that he got when he was 16 wasn't good enough, and he got pissed that he didn't get a Porsche. So now he bought himself the
See,
Porsche.
that's the spoiled
Yeah.
brat crap that came out that
Yeah.
made him look even guiltier. Like, so it kind of, he played himself there.
Yeah. And I think they were spoiled kids.
100%.
I think the younger one
I
should
would-
have been he should be let out. Maybe the other one doesn't need to stay in there. Do they have to be like together on their?
They haven't been. Let's let her get to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
Okay. So,
I'm the voice. I'm speaking from the listener's perspective.
yes.
Because you
Yes.
did your homework.
I know, and that's why I do it. Sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes
okay,
we
okay.
intentionally do
was
not listen.
intentional.
Yeah, usually
Right?
we don't. So, he bought a Porsche. He started Menendez Investment, and he was just making money moves. Like, he was being the businessman his dad really wanted him to always be. Like, if he had just done that when his dad was alive, his daddy would probably be proud. Eric didn't do as much. He bought a Jeep Wrangler. He bought a tennis coach that cost $50,000. They
I need to be a tennis coach.
eventually moved back. You have to know what the U.S. Open means first. They moved back into the house, and they just bought new furniture in the kill room. They were like, let's clean up the blood,
Yeah.
order some new furniture. It's fine.
Yes.
Well,
they're being responsible.
we'll block off the
I feel
room.
like it's responsibility.
but also, when they had bad visions in the house, they bought 2 adjoining condos in Marina del Rey that they would throw these badass parties there.
Okay.
Oh, poor kids, man.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Is
I
P
do
Diddy there?
too.
It might have been a P. Diddy
It
because
could
there
have been
were
a
some
white party.
all-white parties.
Could have been a white party.
Is P. Diddy's like alter ego the Diddler?
Yes.
Okay, so the Diddler.
The Diddler
Yeah.
was
The
there.
Diddler might have been there. I don't know if
the
P. Diddy
Diddler and I think they both.
I think Jose probably diddled
Diddle
Diddy
the Diddler.
before the Diddy
Hey,
started.
maybe that's why Diddy is the way that he is.
Diddy, you would
It
get
could've
out
been
now
Jose.
if you say Jose Menendez
Right,
raped
he-
you.
Yes,
started
Diddy.
this.
That's how.
That's
we,
your
out,
golden
bro.
ticket.
That's your out.
Y'all are brilliant.
Jose
I mean-
Menendez raped you. That's what it is.
Here to hear first.
Listen, I'm not done. They actually bought new wardrobe. What does that mean? A wardrobe,
A whole
not
new-
just like
Not just a couple
7
shirts.
outfits.
No,
not
no.
a week's
Let
worth.
me take all the shit out my closet and put all
Replace
Wow, I could use a new wardrobe.
Shoes, belts, hats.
every.
All the
shirts,
things.
pants.
Yes. They started to gamble, and within 6 months, they'd spent over $700,000. But today's money, that's $1.5 million.
Wow.
In 6 months,
Why
I could do it.
can't
Who
my
doesn't
dad
No, I
do
don't think I
that?
could do it.
money?
I do that literally
Yes, I know.
monthly.
And so people are like, their actions are not normal. Why are you driving your mom's Mercedes Benz speeding down Rodeo Drive like nothing happened?
why are you
Right,
putting-
because there
you're-
was no
you're-
emotional connection to begin with. So
You're literally putting this huge target on you, though. Like when you're doing all
But
this
they
stuff.
don't know that they are not.
They are
mentally
free.
Normal. You to
They
see
are
that
Oh,
as
free.
weird.
okay. They're thinking that they're free, so then
Right.
they can live their
And
life.
to see them as weird, they would have to know what normal is, and they never had normal.
But people are, all they see is these spoiled rich kids
Which
buying
is very
Porsches.
That's what I see.
Yeah, which is what you see because that's all you know right now. Now police are like, could this have been a financial motive behind the parents' murders? So then they found out there's a $5 million death benefit policy. Jose's worth millions and millions and millions.
What is
so
this
they
voice,
decide.
Cassandra? What is it?
This is
Antoinette.
Antoinette.
Hers is
Antoinette.
Cassandra.
Just wait till she goes.
The doctor gave me a cure for that, so let's see if it goes away.
What was it?
He was like
shot.
mixed. Well, he didn't give me a shot. He was like,
No.
you mix these two little things. Because I use Q-tips 4 times a day, I think. Because the insides of my ears itch. But then so does my throat. So I have to go.
I do one.
She does.
And it does
So
it.
whenever we were like Camp Gladiator and stuff, and like we would like we'd go to like our conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
We would stay in rooms together, and all of a sudden, here goes April.
Every night, every
And we're
morning.
Like, oh hell, this
Whatever works, right? Whatever works.
So he told me this little stuff that I can do, and he says give it 2
Keep
weeks.
all of that in, April.
It's Antoinette, right?
yeah, Antoinette.
Antoinette.
Okay. So police are digging into the boys, and they find out that the boys actually just accidentally bought 2 shotguns 2 days before the murders. Totally normal. Beverly Hills people hunt all the time.
A
It's
shooting range in the
Yeah,
backyard.
I mean California.
deer season.
Hello.
Bought 2 deer rifles, and they hired somebody to come clear the hard drive on the family computer. Why would
That's
they
where
do
messed
that?
up. You could have got away with one or the other, not both.
Why would they clear the hard
I
drive?
wish we could go back and
No,
teach
were
them.
they Googling? Wait, did they
No,
have
there's
Google?
no Google. Jose had just changed the family will. And they wanted to make sure that update on that Word, what did we have back then? Word document? Microsoft Word
Well, we
document?
still have probably
It
MS
was
DOS
that
or something like the DOS like
dial up, Windows.
Windows.
literally a
They-
window with like letters that are highlighted in like typewriter font.
Well, they wanted
how
to
did he
make
put
sure
it?
that nothing on that computer could ever be retrieved. So then friend Craig went to the police and told them about the Friends screenplay that they wrote about the kid who killed their parents for money, and said that Eric confessed to him at dinner that they did kill their parents for money. And Eric's the sensitive one, the softie,
Right.
and he had a lot of guilt. So he
did.
needed to confess to his best friend.
Were they doing it? The best friend?
They were in the movie.
It doesn't.
Y'all, how is it that I just kind of guessed that and I've not even know? I've no idea. But it
Because
feels
Eric
like
gives the gay
because-
vibes,
yes.
and it does come out later on that that's all the sex that he ever knew was gay sex, obviously, because it's
Right.
And so he's like, well, how? Yeah, I've done it because that's all I've known.
And to be fair, the the guy he was friends with on the Netflix documentary, they did make I'm not gonna say he was super feminine, but he had feminine characteristics.
Yeah, I mean, and they're in
So,
theater.
to me,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
so
very-
it is. They gay.
It's too many
You know
like
what?
check
And we
marks.
ain't judging. We just telling the facts.
Yeah, too
we
many
just
check
telling
marks.
the
Oh,
facts.
yeah, but absolutely.
Facts.
I thought you were screaming at me, and I was like, what?
So the police were like, let us hire you, Craig. Go to dinner with him again, because you can't, it's just hearsay. Craig's just saying that here's a confession, but you have no evidence. So they're like, go to dinner with him again and record it.
Record it. Absolutely.
So they have dinner, and he asks him about the murder. And Eric is smart now. He's not in his feelings. So he's like, what are you talking about? I would never kill my parents.
No,
What I said to you earlier, I was referring to the screenplay. I would never do that. Never
Absolutely.
bring the check. Like, it was just basically done,
Yeah,
clean,
I'm done.
dry.
I'm out. GTFO. Yeah.
He got in his feelings again on Halloween.
Oh no.
And Dr. Oziel, he goes to see Dr. Oziel. And they, instead of going to the office, go for a walk in the park, because Eric has been so depressed. He's had like ulcers. He's seeing Dr. Oziel, and there in the park is when he confesses everything to Dr. Oziel. He said that they killed his parents, that they dumped the guns, threw them over a ravine, changed their clothes, went to the movie theater to buy tickets for an alibi.
I remember that part in the movie. I did watch. I watched it that far.
So Dr. Oziel, I would have loved to have been Dr. Oziel, because he didn't panic. He was just so calm. He
Yeah.
was like, thank you for telling me this information.
And
Let's
he-
get Lyle up here.
Yeah.
Let me talk.
Yeah.
Let's go to the office and let's talk to Lyle. So Lyle comes in there on red, pissed. What the fuck are you doing trying to say everything?
Exactly.
He's pissed at Eric.
100%.
He threatens the life of Dr. Oziel. We got to kill him now. Like, he is
hey.
on
And they
10.
try to plan it. Like, it's because he knows he's a loose end. I mean, what would you do?
Okay. Well, I obviously think that one Lyle needs to stay in, and Eric needs to become out.
Lyle's hard.
He's the leader.
Definitely the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alpha, like a daddy.
Yeah, I'm definitely an Eric.
Dr. Oziel. Dr. Oziel assures them that doctor-patient confidentiality, he is not allowed to say a word.
But I think there's some stipulations on
I
that.
feel like it's, if you're a danger to somebody else or a harm to yourself, right?
It was
Is that right?
because the crime had already happened. He
Okay.
couldn't say anything. If they were saying, I'm
But then
gonna...
that bitch got on the phone to call somebody because I know I watched
Yes.
it. I'm gonna ruin it.
But he was recording it for insurance. And then he called his side piece, Judalon.
Oh my God, Judah what?
Yes.
Judah mowed the lawn.
Judalon. That's
Judah come and mow the
that
lawn.
is-
I need you to come
That
and mow
was
the
your
lawn.
red flag. That was your red flag when her name was Judalon.
Girl,
Everybody, take a drink because I'm gonna need you to come mow the lawn.
to Judalon.
My favorite girl from American Horror Story played her. Played Judalon. So Judalon would listen in and record the sessions, and she got pissed because he didn't leave his wife for her. So that's when she called the
Touche.
popos.
I gotta get
Touche.
over Judah Lawn because that was
I mean,
I call her Jezebel.
okay. Well,
okay,
that's
thank
better.
you. Jezebel,
Mistress
'cause
Jezebel
she is.
Judalon.
But you know what?
But
I was
Judah
putting in
wanted
all that
you to
effort
call
to be
her.
with somebody, and they said, and then they didn't leave their wife. I mean,
So So she called the police, and she told the police, my boyfriend has been talking to the Menendez brothers. They confessed, and she told all the details, and it's on tape. So they got a subpoena to get the tapes. And on March 8th, 1990, 8 months after the murders, a dozen police stopped Lyle as he was pulling out of his driveway, and they arrested him. Eric was in Israel at a tennis tournament.
okay, so he continued his tennis.
This is where he's dedicated to Lyle, because he flies from from Israel to LA to turn himself in, because Kyle called, warned him.
Lyle, it's fine.
Lyle called,
caught
warned
yourself.
him. Lawyer called and warned him, and he turns himself in. But you were in Israel.
You was in Israel.
You have all the money.
Is that extradition?
Extradition.
I don't know, but you were close to somewhere there where you couldn't have been extradited.
I don't know. Richard
but he
Simmons
wanted to-
is in somewhere where he cannot be extradited, like Bali or something.
Richard Simmons is dead. He's the
No,
worker-outer.
That's not.
Richard Simmons is the aerobics instructor, the
No.
gay aerobics instructor.
No. Who am I thinking of? Simmons.
not Richard
The Simmons, who was on
Simmons.
a live reality show. This, he's a black guy, and he is.
Are you wrong?
He fled the states to go because he got charged with all these like P Diddy type of charges, and he fled. Russell Simmons.
Oh, Russell Simmons. He fled?
Yes, he's been
The one that was married.
Yes,
he
they had
gone.
the reality
fled.
show. He done been fleed.
He fled.
He was married to
Probably Carissa Simmons. I don't know, but they had all these kids, and they had a reality show.
Yes.
And I don't know what he got. He got allegations.
Wait, was this the church guy?
No.
No.
Okay,
he's in music,
Okay,
hip hop.
no.
You're talking about TD
But
Jakes.
he
No,
fled.
the one that used to like have the video show that would like sit in his bathtub at the end of the show and like read off like the. Oh, okay.
What?
Whoa.
What kind of
I
church
am,
show
like,
sits
wait.
in their
I don't
bathtub
know
at
what
the
kind
end
of
of the
church
show?
she going to.
Oh my god!
This
I'm
one
gonna
of them
have to look it
Catholic.
up.
She's
Hey, this is one
Catholic.
of those times. No,
She probably got to pee again.
Take
She
it
probably
back.
got to pee again.
I do.
Oh my god.
Let me get them arrested.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, hold on, right here.
I'll something distracted.
For the love.
No, it's good.
No, go ahead.
What is it?
Continue.
Flavor Flav.
No, I swear to y'all, it was. They had like a wholesome family, and he had like all the good things to say, and like I don't know what was his name.
And he was a church person?
It's not necessarily church, but he was he was a rapper. He used to be a rapper.
T.I.
No. Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. So he turned himself in. At the arraignment, they pled not guilty, but they would be facing death. When they came out, they were smug, they were unbothered, and it rubbed people the wrong way. They had no emotions, they had no reactions, as if they had never, ever, ever been punished for anything they had ever done. But also, if they got death, they would be in San Quentin with Ed Kemper, we know that name, Charlie Manson, and Scott Peterson. Like, they would have been in prison, like in San Quentin, like on death row right now. If they had gotten death at the time, they'd be in there with these people, like these horrible people. Ed Kemper was already in prison. Charlie Manson was already in prison. July 1993, there is about to be the start of the trial, and it was announced that Lyle and Eric did confess to the murders of killing their parents. So the whole world does not really know at this time. They've just been arrested. So they confessed, but they did so because they had suffered a lifetime of sexual abuse from their dad, and that they killed their mom because she allowed it to happen year after year after year, and that they were fearful for their life, and the murders were actually self-defense. So this is when the world went crazy, because up to this point, the Menendez brothers were always just spoiled rich kids that never appreciated anything. But for the first time ever, the world would be looking at the Menendez brothers as victims and not vicious murderers. Break.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, so are these kids now victims or vicious murderers? And that's what this whole trial is about to be about. It's July 20th, 1993, and they're getting tried together with two juries. Lyle has a jury. Eric has a jury. This was one of the first trials broadcasted live, minute by minute.
Yeah.
Like,
I did not realize they had two separate juries. I've never heard of that.
but tried together.
Yeah.
Family, Menendez family was 100% supportive of the boys. Front row, every single day. By the time the boys came in, They looked horrible. Like, they were pretty. They always had their tans, like they're just natural tans, but then they would use self-tanner. Remember, Lyle had his
the
Toupee.
toupee.
I saw that.
They
my
had
God.
muscle
God.
atrophy because they always worked out. They were like these athletes, and then they didn't. They had muscle atrophy. They were pale. They were stressed. They were depressed. Now, they were first going to have Robert Shapiro, badass Robert Shapiro.
Oh, hell.
But Robert Shapiro was just like,
He's
I'm just going to just try to not get you killed. Like, I'm not going to try to get you off. I'm going to try to not give you death. Like, that's all I'm going to do. And so they fired him and hired Leslie Abramson.
Badass.
Bad
Biatch.
bitch.
Yes.
Bad bitch. But
Strong personality. Love her.
yes, but especially back then, like, men did not love that strong personality. She had a history of getting acquittals. Her job was her life. Like, she put off having kids. She put her husband on the back burner. She hated the death penalty, so she wanted to make sure she took all the death penalty cases so that she could win against the death penalties. But bitch was expensive, so they had to pay.
Well, they got
She
all
was
the
like the
money.
blonde, curly-haired lady. So in the trial, Lyle testified in detail to all the sexual abuse that his dad put him through, starting at age 6.
Oh, no.
Imagine. I can't
No
even.
and no.
And there's no.
You're a
You're not a
pedophile.
female.
You're a
You're a
pedophile.
male. So
Oh.
that's
just-
excruciating,
Ugh,
right? Like no.
It started off with massages and fondling, then slowly to oral. And then he would sodomize them with small objects like toothbrushes or like brush ends. And the objects would grow. So he's trying to like grow the hole until eventually Jose would full on rape, sodomize him. There was always a tradition of showers after workouts and after tennis matches. And it was like so normal. Like, you knew after your tennis match, you were going to go home and dad was going to hop in the shower with you.
Independent on how you played, I bet that played a part.
Oh, I bet.
Right.
I bet.
Oh.
Lyle had a very emotional testimony with so many tears, very, very descriptive descriptions, and he testified for 9 days straight.
Oh
my
God.
God.
Can you
I
imagine?
realized
9 days straight.
Wow.
He was also asked during this testimony if he ever did anything sexual to his brother, Eric. And he confessed that he knew when he was young that he would sometimes do to Eric what his dad did to him. And he broke down. The camera would pan from Lyle to Eric, and they were both uncontrollably bawling. And he, right there on the stand, begged and asked Eric for forgiveness. And we're like, you were young.
Right, which was, from what I understand, the first time he had ever asked for Eric's forgiveness or admitted.
Acknowledged it.
Yes,
Yeah.
acknowledgement. And you know how much power acknowledgement has? I mean, even if you're not like, I'm sorry, acknowledgement is such a huge thing.
Yes.
And they both break down. Like regular documentary, monsters documentary, both are so...
They killed
it's
it.
Hard. It's hard. It's hard to watch.
The
awful.
actors killed it, but even like Lyle and Eric, I don't know how you could have watched it and not believed
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And then the abuse stops after a while. An aunt or cousin testified that she was babysitting Eric and Lyle when Lyle was 8 years old, and that he was scared to go to bed because he said when he goes to bed, his dad comes in the bed and they touch each other. And he showed her how they touched each other. And when she went and told Kitty, Kitty did nothing, acted like she was crazy, acted like Eric was crazy. Eric,
Yeah.
they both said that
You thought.
that when when Jose would leave their room, Kitty would always be standing out there.
Why?
She just knew and let it go on.
Why would she
So
just stand
it-
out
it
there to
really-
make sure it didn't
it-
get like horribly bad?
She didn't want to break up the family.
Right, and it portrays that because in the documentaries, it portrays that because she was not getting the attention from her husband, she wanted the attention from her sons, or she wanted to punish them for having the attention that she wanted. So it goes way deeper. So like when they're like, oh, we're going to kill our dad, we're going to kill our mom because she
was complicit and
Yes.
she
not
let it
even
happen.
complicit. She was jealous of it and treated him bad
Because of it.
Gosh.
It's horrible.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Lyle said that right before the murders, okay, so there's the story of they're sitting at the dinner table and they're having an argument, and the mom goes over and pulls off Lyle's toupee.
Right, which Eric has no idea that he has a toupee. But imagine, what was he, 17, 18?
Eric?
Yes.
Yes.
So who loses their hair at that age? No.
Exactly. That's what I
that
was
is either a
wondering.
medical thing
Or
that is
stress.
a stress.
Yeah.
Let's go with stress, right?
Because like he was
of the
fully,
life.
like basically fully bald.
Fully bald. And
Fully.
Dad took him in immediately and was like, no, you're Menendez. You're going to be a politician later on. You're going to go to Princeton. You got to have a good set of hair. Everybody's going to look at your hair. So he paid like $500 for this great toupee with this great glue.
Dude, it looks
And
great.
when Eric found out that Lyle was, I think, older, that he was balding, they were in the room, and he was like, what kind of family do we have when these type of secrets, like, how did I not know you're my brother, that you're going bald?
Yeah.
And that's when he confessed everything that his dad has been doing to him since he's been 6. So then Lyle figures out when my shit stopped, his started.
Well, and his stuff stopped around, what, the age of 10? Like, his went on for like 2 years. He's like, Dad, stop. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And then he moved to his brother, and he never imagined that he moved to his brother. So he thought for all these years he stopped his dad. So when he finds out his dad has been doing this to his brother for the last, 10 years, that's when they're like,
They put all
pissed.
this
We're on.
together. Oh my god.
And he confronts his dad. And he says, Eric told me I know everything, and this stops now. And if it doesn't stop now, I'm telling everybody your dirty little secret is out. So he confronts him, and he's like, I'm telling everybody if you touch him ever again. So now Jose and Kitty are living with the threat of their little secret coming out. So they go on the boat trip, which is basically the week later. They are thinking, because Jose threatened their life, I'll kill you before my secret gets out. Okay? Mm-hmm. Allegedly. So this boat trip, the boys are thinking they're going to get killed. They are thinking that this is going to be their accidental death. So remember the weird
P.
boat
Diddy
trip?
style death.
could you imagine that with your own parents, though? Like, having to actually fear that?
Which is why the boat trip was so weird. Remember, the captain was like,
Yes,
it's the
why are they
weirdest
on
thing.
opposite
They're on
sides
opposite
and all the
sides.
things?
Nobody fished. Well, they stayed away from their parents,
As they
thinking
should.
their parents were going to try to do an accidental death, allegedly. But the other story is they were planning to kill their parents. Like, which one was it on the boat? Were they scared that their parents were going to kill them?
They could have just pushed him overboard.
Okay, but I feel like they were both vibing the same thing, because the parents aren't going to pay for a chartered trip to say, hey, kids, y'all plan our murder, right? Like, let me charter you a boat to plan our murder. It was a weird thing, because they didn't do a lot of stuff together, right? Like,
Yeah.
as a family.
Yeah, they did it. So
it
that's
was
why the
very
boys were
weird.
like, why are
They're
they taking
like,
it
I
to
think
feed us to
if
sharks?
we
Yeah,
would
they're
have
gonna-
waited a couple weeks
They
in
probably would have
time,
been fed to
I
sharks.
really feel, in my personal opinion, this story would be completely
Reversed.
reversed.
Probably so. And they thought so too, which is why they had bought guns. And after the boat trip, they decided it needs to happen. It's either us or them. That's when they got the bullets, and then
You fucked again. We gone.
They did it. When Eric testified, he testified in great detail to all the abuse, and his was 10 times worse than Lyle's and happened up until the murders. Like, his started at 6 all the way until you're 20?
And then Lyle was like, hey, you did this to me for a year or two. And I said, stop. And he really, I feel like that's where he got his confidence from, right? Because he's more confident.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I said, stop. And this monster stopped. I controlled the narrative.
Yeah.
He had no
Yeah,
idea
he's doing it with
all
the
of these
brother.
years. And then he finds out it's happening to the brother. And it's like,
Done.
it's on.
Like,
we're doing this
flipped-
over.
flipped a switch. He also said that he just started putting cinnamon in his dad's coffee, so at least when his dad cummed in his mouth, it wouldn't taste so bitter.
Oh my God. Okay, on a side note, does that
Cinnamon
work?
and coffee is great. I don't know if it changes the taste of your
I'm asking for a
jizz.
friend. I'm asking for a friend. Does that work?
Cinnamon and coffee, does it work?
I don't know. I think you should try it this weekend and let us know.
Okay.
Oh. He actually went into
in next
detail on where they bought guns, how they bought guns, why they bought guns, but he got caught in a lie on the where. The place that he said where he bought it was actually closed. And so at that point, the Menendez brothers had got caught in another lie on stand in trial. Eric lied on stand. Friend Craig, that he wrote the screenplay with, testified. The computer expert testified. And then they ended with the what's his name? The doctor testifying that they said that they watched a movie called Billionaires Boys Club that inspired them to kill. It's about a group of rich boys that killed their parents for money. And then
sketchy. The doctor was sketchy, and I know there's a whole vibe behind him, but the doctor was super sketchy. I think, did he not have his license anymore or something?
he did
gotta take it
came
away.
later on.
Yeah, so the doctor was super sketchy.
what
He
side
had
was
had
on?
multiple. I mean, he was just testifying. He wasn't
But
against. He
had
was
to
just
be
telling the
He
truth.
had to be an expert for a certain, like, okay, it's, yeah.
I don't remember.
Well,
Probably for the prosecution.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
he
probably for the
confessed to
state,
him.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he never said that, like, they were sociopaths or anything that I remember. He was saying that about the abuse that they went through. And then they ended with all the photos from the crime scene. So imagine brain matter, blood.
All the things. Busted out, skulls,
Gross.
all the things.
The trial lasted 4 months, and the jury deliberated for 1 full month.
Oh my
1
gosh.
month? I
The
didn't know
jury
that.
deliberated for 1 full month, and they
Wow.
still,
I'm shocked that the judge let it go on that long.
I guess she had patience back then. I don't
Well,
know.
I guess,
Listen.
because usually they'll be like, let's take an Alfred
I'm
plea. Let's
shocked
take a
that it
this.
didn't take 24 hours because I mean, I get
There
it.
had to have been a couple holdouts.
We're 25 years later, whatever. I'm not a math again, Robinson.
Yeah, 30.
So, we've learned so much with trauma responses
Yes.
and, criminal profiling, that was all new to them back
Oh.
then. But like, and also pedophiles, like that was a new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was normal
Yeah.
for women, but it wasn't for, nobody believed that boys
Could be a victim.
Yeah.
be a
Yes, be a
victim.
victim. Yeah.
And that's
Right.
exactly
yeah,
how
yeah.
they're split, men to women, on both juries. Women wanted to acquit because they looked at the boys as like their sons and they felt bad for them. But the men wanted to convict because it was hard for them to believe that another man could be raped or sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
So people are saying now that if they were Lily and Erica, they would have been out. If they were women, they
Yeah.
would have, like, there
Yeah.
would be no question. Even like Gypsy Rose, she
Oh, this bitch.
killed her parents and
You
she
would've
did some
said that
time
right
and
when
she
she
went
got
out.
You're
I
saying it
would've,
now
because
because of
then
how
she-
she's reacting now.
Yeah, no, because she got married, then she got divorced, and
yeah,
then
all
now
the
she's
things.
pregnant, and like this,
Listen,
and she
I
got a
know.
nose job. Jealous.
Jealous.
It's easier to see a female as a victim. So they had to have a retrial. But let's think about what happened in between this retrial. OJ.
Oh,
I mean, we
the
can
juice.
only let one get off in
Yes.
in
the
a decade.
focus is on what? OJ.
Yes.
Nobody knows about what's going on in Menendez, whatever.
So they went out of the biggest trial of the decade, Menendez, into the bigger trial of the decade, OJ. So you didn't get justice with the Menendez. You didn't get justice with OJ because he was acquitted. And so now you're going right back into a new trial, and the state and the Americas and the world is expecting some justice. So now this judge says no media, no circus, and the sexual abuse is not allowed at all.
That's like Delphi. That
Okay.
this shit pisses me off.
But
we've
yeah.
got Lyle, right? And I'm not taking a story.
No,
right? We've
say
got
it.
Lyle, who's got a girlfriend who's been messaging him, calling him. He's spending all his money on talking to this girl about how he's going to write a book and how he put on such a show on the first
Trial.
his first trial, and how well he put a show on. Like, who would not believe what, so you've got this person who he thinks he's doing a book deal with is going to make him money.
And she
And
records
she
it.
records
She records
And
everything.
releases
Yes!
transcripts.
So the second
transcripts.
trial,
And every
that-
jailhouse phone
that
call.
literally knocks out Lyle's complete testimony. Well, without
not
Lyle's
allowed to speak.
testimony, we can't talk about Eric's testimony, because Eric's testimony is the same as Lyle's. So we are, and then
And you
we're
can't
at
even talk
public
about
defenders.
abuse. Then you can't
Yes.
even talk about abuse,
Right.
because there's no evidence towards it. It is just word of mouth. And yeah.
And then at this point, we're out of money, right? So we're
Yeah.
at public defenders. We're not at
Oh,
top-notch attorneys who can spin the narrative to care or to whatever. We're at public defenders again. And this is like, hey, I don't care. I'm just trying to get a paycheck. And it was
I mean, sometimes
a
public
mess.
defenders are pretty good.
Ones
who are trying to make a name for themselves to be criminal defense attorneys.
Yeah.
That makes
To be
sense.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
They drug Dr. Ozil's name through the mud, revealed multiple mistresses. So after this trial, it was quick. It was easy.
Getting it, girl.
He
Getting
done
it.
fucked around and found out.
It wasn't just you, Judalon. Jezebel Judalon.
Jezebel.
They were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole on the second trial. Life. So they at least didn't get killed. They were then transported to prison when one van went right, one van went left. They were separated in two separate prisons for decades.
And that was the only thing they asked. Hey, if you're going to send us to prison forever,
Send us
please
together.
send us together. And they said, we will make it happen. And was it the new DA that was making a name?
Yeah, because
for
what happened
himself?
is they were together during the trial and everything, and they were planning this prison escape. They're writing down. They were like, so and so's going to drive through
Hey,
the
as we
the
would
bus
do if
stop.
we were in there.
As one would.
So they were like, they're in
Spider-Man
danger.
crawling
You
up
just
the wall
shut the
like
guard.
dude's a big,
Yeah.
what's his name?
You hop the
Alfonso,
fence.
Alfonso Day or whatever. He'd be like Spider-Man crawling up the wall and he gone.
Listen.
I can
Got
fit into
you.
small holes.
So, sentenced to life.
That doesn't sound good.
They were separated for decades. They appealed multiple times, went to the Supreme Court, habeas corpus.
Yep.
Nothing.
Nothing.
1996, Lyle got married to Anna Erickson, and then she divorced him when she found out he had side pieces writing him. So he got married again to Rebecca.
I mean,
Got married twice in prison.
so Lyle actually
that's
looks
why
good.
did you
Have
go
you
to
seen it?
prison?
Have
That's
you
why
seen
you-
Lyle's
the
the bald one.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's like buff. He looks.
They haven't aged. They haven't aged bad. Like they don't
have
look bad at
not.
all.
Even in prison with their cheese sandwiches, they are like they're getting
Cheese
protein
toast.
somewhere.
I mean,
Eric got married in 1999 to Tammy. They started off as pen pals. In an interview, she said that her relationship with
what year
him,
was that?
1999.
Okay, so it wasn't after she saw the Netflix episode, season, whatever.
Not after the shower
I think
scene.
we should do
Not
an
after the shower
experiment to
scene.
where I start pen paling a serial killer and just
I
see
feel
if
like
I could get married.
I feel that
You gonna
you
get
should
killed.
do it. But we would need to give you one. And I you know
Okay, you're
what?
getting
Eric's
fidgety.
already taken.
Keep going. Go.
They would communicate through letter. Okay, so
You need to find alcoholic.
she did an interview and said that her relationship with him is what she always wanted. She published a book called My
Cats
Life
never
with
get laid.
Eric Menendez. They have never had sex. Ever.
mean-
No
So-
conjugal visits?
Okay.
Is that just on the movies?
I don't know. No.
I think you
Conjugal
have to be
visits is
married
a thing.
before.
No. I don't think so. But I think
No,
it just
conjugal visits is
Here.
a thing. But you know what? There are
I
people who are
think
asexual.
it's
so maybe
it could
she's
be
that.
it could be maybe just depending on the state or the
Yeah.
prisons.
Even though Eric and Lyle were separated, they were very, very, very close still. They would communicate through letters through their wives. They would even play chess through their wives through letters.
I can't.
What?
Yes.
That is a very good wife. Listen,
That's
I'm
a
not
very
a
good
feminist,
wife.
but I would love a man who could contribute to my family, have children with me, and do the modern day
While
things.
in
But
jail,
if
prison?
you are gonna make me send a chess piece to your brother,
I think it was like
across
letter
the country?
move to square on the right.
I mean, who even has that chess set up?
Maybe
who,
I
who
do.
has the
They
board?
both have it set
Who
up,
has the board?
and
I could.
in
get
Lyle's
one.
letter, he's going to say, "Move my king man to the right," and then Eric's going to write and say, "Move my king man to
I'm
the
sorry,
left."
but there's contraband.
Do you
in
know
prison.
how
Just
long-
Talk on the phone.
I know.
Really, there's cell
Play
service.
chase.
Like I'm
He didn't even
moving
use
my
other people's
night
phone
to
numbers.
E2, D1, whatever it's called.
Okay, maybe you should go.
Don't
and
use
tell-
your wives. That's why Eric got married. Because at the end of the day, he's gay.
He's the gay one.
He is, and I'm good with that.
But
Don't get married to a woman.
that you don't have to have sex with. It's fine.
Well, that's all he's been doing in prison.
Exactly.
That's why he probably
Hey,
wants
they
to stay
didn't say
in.
Lyle wasn't having conjugal visits.
They finally
scared.
reunited in February 2018 when Lyle was transferred back to Eric's prison after 22 years. They hugged and they cried hysterically. They have meals together, they work out together, and
I love that.
they're brothers again.
Hey, listen, I don't understand the depths of their relationship, and I don't even want to know. But their relationship is like, and I don't even want to say a love story for the ages. Like, I don't want to make it gross.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into that. But they do have a bond
It is
that is
different.
like no other, and to keep them apart was very fucking cruel.
I thought that was
Was
cool.
I supposed to say that for
Yes.
you?
you
Sorry,
can-
I'm
no,
so
you
sorry.
can- No. Yes, it's fine.
Since they've been in jail, one of Jose Menendez's boy bands. What's his name?
You said
The
Jose.
Jonas Brothers.
One of Jose's music groups, boy bands, named Menudo. There's a documentary out.
Menudo.
It's
When
called-
I did Selena, I got in real big trouble because I was not pronouncing the word
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay, because you didn't eat menudo. Do you eat menudo?
Maybe.
Menudo
I
Brothers.
I
The
could have eaten
Menudo
menudo in
Brothers.
Mexico. I don't know.
Menudo plus Menendez was a documentary, and one of the boy band groups came out and just basically said, Jose raped me in that same house. He raped the boys in that same bed.
Thank you.
It's
Yes.
It's
Thank you for
happened. I
coming out.
believe them. I believe everything that they've said. The family has also said they suspected abuse for years.
Cousins came out.
Yeah.
They have letters.
Jose's family, yep. And a letter has now resurfaced that was hidden before, written by Eric to his cousin 9 months before the murders, detailing the abuse and his disgust and frustration over what his father is doing to him. So because of that, George Gascon, DA, is second guessing how the trial was handled. Did they get the correct sentence? Should it have been manslaughter? Should they have parole? He agrees that they should have been punished because they did murder. But should they die in prison? He's not so sure about that. Yeah, we're done. Since they've been in prison, they've been model prisoners. They've gotten college degrees. They train guide dogs. They've participated in palliative care. And their biggest fans are Rosie O'Donnell and Kim Kardashian.
Oh my God, bye.
Listen, get behind one. I can't get behind the other.
Listen, Rosie O'Donnell, get GTFO.
Rosie
go
is just
on.
like, I am a
Off
child
you
of
go.
abuse.
Off you fuck. Off you fuck.
Hey, but you know what?
She's
I'm not
like,
gonna
I'm a
knock the
child.
abuse thing. I'm not
She
gonna knock
says,
it.
I'm a child of abuse. And when you
Okay.
watch
Yeah,
their
well,
testimonies,
obviously she's
you
a-
know
she's got
that is
mental-
true.
Oh, God,
Listen,
cannot
I
even look
said
at
that.
her.
Which most gay
you've
people
got an
are.
8-year-old.
Most gay people are?
Children of abuse.
Yes,
Gay people are?
100%.
I
They're
didn't know that.
victimized.
I
It's
did
a
not know
trauma-
that.
It's a trauma response. Yes.
Not saying gay isn't real, but it's a true statistic.
No, we can have gays, but we can have gays who are. I mean, I have one of my best friends. Her dad had molested her older sister for so long, and her older sister is
Can't touch boys now.
no, she cannot
Oh.
because
Oh,
that is a trauma
it's
response.
From
It's a trauma.
That's
It's from
okay.
a response of you being molested by like
Yeah,
a male
100%.
figure.
Like
So
that,
then
there's a fear base,
yeah,
whatever.
I feel more
and
comfortable
we
with
don't touch
females.
them. But I will
I do
have
not
to
agree
say,
with that
I 100%
sentiment.
believe these two boys. I don't care if they're spoiled. I don't
Yeah.
care what their life was.
I do
Like,
believe
that
them
was a
as well.
characteristic
Yeah.
opinion that, that all the things that they are a characteristic of their growing up. But an 8-year-old does not go and take and
No.
sodomize his 6-year-old
No.
brother.
Unless somebody's done it to
Because
him.
at 8 years old, unless you're just a super early bloomer, you don't have those kind of desires.
You would not even know
have
what that. You should
wouldn't
know what that is. You should be focusing on
unless-
like.
You don't
when
even know
I'm-
what your penis does
Unless
besides
you're-
pee.
No, I did not know what my penis did. Wait, what?
Wrong podcast.
So they're 50-ish years old now, and they could be getting out, so they may be eating Thanksgiving dinner with their family.
I hope
Or
so.
a Christmas dinner,
I
so we
hope
will
it-
follow
and,
that.
And you know what? The
So-
prison
Go ahead.
system is meant to rehabilitate. So let's say, okay, they said they did it. It's about rehabilitation. I don't think that they should have been in there that long. I do believe that they deserved prison for what they did, just to teach
Yeah.
a lesson. But I feel like they've been rehabilitated. I feel
Yeah.
like let's move on.
So you're saying victims? Are you saying victim or
Victims.
murderers?
Oh, I'm saying victims, but I don't. The older one, he got issues,
Sketchy.
but
He's
I mean,
sketchy. But he's married now. He's good.
Oh, marriage fixes everything.
yeah, and maybe
A
he
baby
needs to have a
should
baby.
cover up.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
better.
Changes everything.
I think they need to get out and yeah, they.
Oh, they're going to be famous when they get out.
Oh, 100%.
All that money that they lost, they'll get it right
Yeah,
back.
they're gonna
Right back.
They're gonna divorce all those bitches that
2020 will
wrote
be all
them all
over
the
'em.
letters.
Yeah.
They're
Because
gonna
they,
be like,
they don't
wow.
got no money. Okay. Well, done.
Thank you so
done.
much for having me.
There's
I
a great
loved
story.
this. I admire y'all. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks for
Great
coming.
story. We
Thanks for
loved it.
contributing. And we're going
We
to send
loved having you as a guest.
you start
were
writing
great.
them. Maybe they'll come to Waco when they
Oh,
come.
I'm on it. My
On
husband
it.
will be so thrilled.
All right,
He's gonna
y'all.
like never go on the podcast again.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. This is coming out on No. No. Is next week Thanksgiving?
I
Yep.
don't know.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we will see y'all the following week. Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always say BDTF.
BDTF.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Down to find.
Down to find.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.